individual, but where do you see things just with the post-player rotation? Obviously, you got a returner with Montague and some newcomers there. How do you see that shaking out a few weeks out from the opening game?
Yeah, obviously, Jessica, what a great story, as we all know. So happy for her how she finished her career at Mississippi State and then to get drafted in the WNBA. So obviously, it's going to be a lot of opportunity because Jessica was a kid who played 30 minutes a game, which is unheard of in the post position. And like you mentioned, you've got Near, all right, who was one of the top 50 high school recruits in the country 2 years ago that has waited her turn, who's played behind her and is ready to seize her moment. And then we were lucky to get Kayla Thomas in the transfer portal. I think that's a young lady that's going to shock a lot of people. Her college career, because again, this is the last year of COVID kids, started at Penn State. She has been phenomenal for what we're trying to do and mold into a team for what she brings. And then I got a sleeper. Medina, all right, from Kenya, all right? This young lady is special, and I'm going to share a little story with you. She arrived this fall, and all summer, a lot of my kids were practicing for a conditioning test that usually takes 3 months to pass. She arrives the first week in school, and I look at her, and she said, "Hey, Coach, I want to take the conditioning test." And I said, "All right, why not?" And you know what? She passed it in 2 days. So she's special. She's got a motor for days, but most importantly, she has a joy at being at Mississippi State. So between those three, along with Poe, because she's a stretch four, I'm excited about being able to have 2 in and 2 out and have a rotation where we can avoid foul trouble and have plenty of bodies to throw out there no matter what the opponent brings at us.
Okay, next question, front row on the end here.
Alan Cole, GamecockScoop.com. Speaking of transfers, you kind of were on the other end of Miriam Dowda's career game last year at Arkansas. What kind of player is South Carolina getting with her?
Special. I got a chance to watch the game last night. I mean, you think the old South Carolina used to be, hey, let's pack it in. Let's make them beat you from the outside. That scouting report's over with. I mean, Dawn's done a phenomenal job, and she's got some of the best players in the country. Someone like her can not only play inside and out, so I know she'll bring a lot to that team this year.
Okay, next question, second row in the middle.
Sam, why was it important to bring Victoria Vivians back to Starkville, and what has she meant to the program?
Yeah, it's everything. Well, first of all, I think I'm a good recruiter, right? So I'm no dummy, all right? When you walk in there, all right, first of all, she's the queen, all right? I only know 2 queens in my life. One's Beyonce and one's Victoria. So I was lucky to land Victoria on my staff. But also when you do this business, again, it's more than just about winning games. It's about impacting lives. And that's what Victoria does. I mean, think about the lens for my young women who have a lot of aspirations and dreams to play at the next level, and you currently have a staff member who is in the league, right, who has great resources and connections to motivate them and talk to them, to tell them what it takes to get there. And then most importantly, like I shared when I took the job 3 years ago, all right, this vision's real. All right, this program was in the national championship not too far long ago. And you know what? She was on that team. So when we're getting in that practice gym and we're fighting and we're competing, she has a certain voice about her that, you know what? She believes in that vision because she lived it. And when we talk about maximizing your education, she's done that as a graduate. And then, like I said, for have dreams after Mississippi State, she's currently living that. And I couldn't be more happy to have her on staff and what she's bringing to us. And then on top of that, all right, as much as she's bringing to us, I'm excited, and this is how I'm standing here today. I had great mentors who poured into me, right, who gave me an opportunity and a platform. And then down the line, there's no doubt that that young lady has what it takes. And we're trying to make sure we pour into her so when her opportunity comes to be a head coach one day down the line, that she's ready to seize it and keep giving to this great game that we're playing in right now.
Other questions, please raise your hand. Let's come to the front row.
Caroline Mikowskis, Lexington Herald Leader. Coach, a lot of new faces on this roster, as you mentioned. What's your philosophy when it comes to bringing a bunch of new talent together and instilling your system?
Yes, great question. So it's simple. Fail fast, learn quick, all right? We are doing everything possible in practice to create failure. And when I mean that, positive failure. One, what set are we going to need to run when the game's on the line? Who are my dogs when we're down 5 points that I've seen in practice when the lights come on? I know who to go to, right? Who's going to take that shot that we need to get us the lead, or be the one that's got to be the game winner, right? So we've had a great mindset in that. And then outside of just trying to create a practice environment, is get to know each other as people, right? This is really simple, all right? The better we understand each other, where we come from, but most importantly, believe in each other, if we can have an attitude that we'll run through a brick wall, I like what's going to come when the season arrives.
Any other questions for Coach? Let's go to the fourth row back on the left.
Wilton Jackson, the next coach. Could you speak a little bit about the impact of having a guard like Jakayla Jordan back?
Ooh, I'm the luckiest coach in the world, right? All right, first of all, no offense, I love you media, but I think we made a mistake in leaving off that young lady for second for all SEC, all right? We're talking about a lady, real quick, all right, where she was 16 points per game, all right, team best, all right, fourth best, all right, returning mark in the SEC. Ranked 10th in the SEC in 23-24, but not only an offensive player, you're also talking about a two-way player, all right? Defensively, she was 2.1 steals per game, which put her at 6 in the SEC last year, and currently the fourth best returning mark in the SEC this year. So when you got that experience, you got a young lady that bleeds Mississippi State, especially in a time and an era in the transfer portal that you can leave. She was hurt last year that we were one game short of making the NCAA tournament, and she didn't run from it. She was a main part of that, bringing the talent that I have on my team right now, and she wants to make sure she leaves Mississippi State the right way and gets us back in the NCAA tournament and leaves her mark. And I believe she's going to have one heck of a year doing it.
Other questions for Coach? Raise your hand. All right, let's go to the third row in the middle.
Hey, Coach. Brad from College Sportscast. I wanted to ask you, you kind of revamped your coaching staff in the offseason. You've already talked about Victoria, but the other three, you hired 4 new assistant coaches. So could you talk about that?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky. I mean, think about this. I'm in my 3rd year as a head coach. I got a coaching tree, right? Unbelievable. Again, that's why I'm proud of the culture and the product we're building at Mississippi State, because I want not only my players to reach their dreams, I want my assistants to reach theirs as well. So last year I had 2 assistant coaches who went on to be head coaches. All right, so I'm so happy for them and their opportunities in this next stage of life. So that freed up an opportunity to go out and hire some new coaches, all right, which obviously you never think you're going to have to do that at the end of the year, but when great opportunities come, I want that for my people. So I was able to win the lottery, all right. I was able to hire 3 former head coaches, and first and foremost from Fred Castro, who have a long friendship that I've known over 20 years. He's a brilliant mind, but most importantly, he's a great teacher. And then I was able to hire Anita Howard, another former head coach who has an energy, a love, and a passion for the game that you know it when you meet her right away. And then last but not least is my day one and Samantha Williams. We started in this business 20 years ago at Auburn. All right, we worked together and we competed together for Final Fours and national championships at Louisville. And then obviously she was at Tennessee last year, and the opportunity for her to come on my staff this year. She understands what it takes to win in the SEC, but most importantly, she's a winner. So I'm very fortunate to have a great staff, and most important, like anybody knows, when you got 3 former head coaches, I'm a lot better head coach now because they understand the small things are very big, and they take a lot off my plate. So I'm very excited about this season.
Any other questions for Coach? Raise your hand. Last call. All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, everybody.